What's up, Culture
Hey, hey,
Crew?
hey.
I'm Ash.
And I'm T. And if you're looking for curated conversations that connect you to the culture,
Keep listening.
yes, we're back. We're back with another episode. And if you are tuning in again, you already know how me and Ash like to get our episodes started. What we got for them?
We got a little tea time
Tea
today,
time.
and we're going to talk about Black girl hair.
Yes, let's talk about it
Uh-oh.
because
We're
there's
really
layers.
spilling the tea on this one.
There's layers to this one. No pun
Um,
intended.
Tiana, I'll let you start. I'll let you
Are you
start
gonna
because
let me
I can
start?
go on. I'm going to let you
Okay.
start. I'm going to let you start.
Okay. So when I think about Black girl hair, the first thing that comes to mind is obviously my hair is locked, right?
Mm.
So when I think about my Black girl hair journey, so I was getting relaxers probably until I was like 18.
Mm.
And when I went away to college, it really became more of a I can't get home to my hairstylist is why
Yeah.
my hair is going natural than
Mhm.
me like deciding. But of course, I did go to an HBCU, so I got my first little weave with my leave out. Thought I was
Okay.
real cute, pressed it down and everything. Went to a party, came back. That joint was like,
The leave out look left out.
we had left it out. The leave out had been left out. Okay. And this when I was like, okay, clearly something got to give, right?
Mm.
So I did my big chop. Of course, everybody was like, oh my God, why'd you cut all your hair
We
off?
all had that phase. You go
What
to
is
HBCU, you go
happening? Yeah.
natural.
So definitely went natural. I got my first set of locks. And so my hair is very kinky, very 4C, like very
Mm.
much 4D, honestly,
Yeah,
at this
mine's
point.
4Z. Like at this point, it's not on the
so
scale.
my hair actually locked really well though. Like
Wow.
and I remember it being one of the first times where I felt like it was good for my hair. Like when the
Mm.
guy had started my locks, he was like, wow, like your hair just seems like it was made for locks, right? And it was
Mm.
one of the first times that I had felt like that, even in my natural hair journey, because my hair wasn't super defined. I could leave a twist out in for 3 days and it still was just gonna be an
Same.
afro at the end of the day. Like the kinky, coily curls and all. No. I was a product junkie. Okay. I went through all of them. I
I
tried
tried everything.
every
It's
butter,
just
every cream.
an afro. It wasn't meant. It wasn't meant
It
to
wasn't meant to be. So I got my first set of locks, and then after a breakup, actually, I cut
Ooh,
my hair off. I
we all been
remember
there.
I was down in Atlanta, and the lady said that I had a bald spot in the middle of my head, and she said, "What boy is stressing you out?"
So she knew immediately.
Immediately, though, she said, "This spot right here, that's that man stress bald spot right there."
She said, "I've seen this before."
Okay. So after that, when that relationship ended, cut my
Hmm.
locks off. I was feeling very much like, oh, I don't want to carry this energy into whatever I'm doing next. Restarted my locks, and now here we are, thriving.
Mm.
So here we are. So if anybody's out there looking for a sign to lock their hair, this is it. Do it.
Me. The sign is for
Do
me. You
it. Do
guys, I
it.
want to lock my hair so bad.
Do it.
I love being able to change my hair all the time, but the way the lock girlies have been changing it up, mm,
I'm just saying.
I'm actually here for it.
I'm just
So
saying.
my journey is kind of similar. Growing up in predominantly white areas, there was a lot of pressure to assimilate to what
Mm,
everybody else's hair looked like. So it took a long time for me to embrace curly hairstyles. Um, and I used to have braids, but I still used to feel self-conscious because my hair didn't look like or feel like anyone else's. So I
yeah.
would try to do these styles and the things that all of my white girlfriends did at the time. My mom would be like, Ashley, that does not work for your hair. Like, please stop it. I can think of one specific time, child. There's this thing, like I used to play lacrosse. Okay, that we can
Okay.
go into that another
Okay.
day. But I used to play
Okay.
lacrosse, and the lacrosse girlies used this thing called pre-wrap. Now, pre-wrap, they used to basically tie it around their hair. I was the only black girl on the lacrosse team. Okay, so they used to tie it around their hair for flyaways,
It's
right?
like a
Because
headband
yeah,
almost,
like sort of like
right?
a headband
I
situation,
yeah,
but it's
uh-huh.
like disposable.
Right.
So I said, Mom, I need pre-wrap, right? I
Clearly.
had my mom
Clearly.
said, You don't. need that. You don't have flyaways.
She said that's not a thing
You
that we
use
have.
gel, like, and you gel your hair down. And so that was one of my experience where I was like trying to make my hair look like everyone else's. And then of course I went to an HBCU and had the experience similar to Tiana, where I was like, oh, everybody has natural hair. They have hairstyles, they have these braids, these twists. So I was like, all right, bet. Like, and I went natural. I cut my hair, dyed my hair. I literally did everything, like just
All the
experimenting.
things.
And I started to really fall in love with the just changing and shifting my hair. And, like being at an HBCU, you see so many different hairstyles and women are complimenting you. I love your hair, girl. Who did that? It's slayed, da da da. So I became really into that. And people knew me in school to like change my hair like every 3 weeks on the dot.
I love
And
that.
then after school, you have like other bills. So like I'm like, okay,
right. 3 weeks is a bit much. It's a bit hectic.
Yeah, let's go to 4 or 5. And then, and even back then, there's this stigma on Black girl hair where people feel entitled to understand it. And I struggled with that growing up because my Caucasian friends, white friends at the time, always wanted to touch my hair, always wanted to ask questions about my hair. And I already feel like, mind you, I'm the only Black girl, so I already feel self-conscious. So you're bringing this extra attention to the fact that my hair is so different than yours is making me uncomfortable. One, don't touch my hair, don't pet me. I'm not an animal. Right? Like, you are not entitled to understand Black girl hair. And it changes a lot. And we need to make it normalized to not have conversations.
We don't have to talk about it.
We don't have to talk about it. And at this point, it's like, I feel like if you have known me for a certain amount of time, you probably have, if you've known me for 6 months, you have seen my hair in at least 3 different styles.
Right.
So you should be accustomed to my hair changing. So like, I don't want to have a conversation about my hair. You don't have to understand what type of braids I have, what type of, whether it's long one day or short the next day. It's, quite frankly, it's not your business.
Absolutely.
And I think that we need to have an understanding of that within our community, within corporate America, and just for Black girls, young girls in general. They should be able to walk around feeling proud of whatever hairstyle they have and not worry about someone asking them about their hair or putting their hands in their head.
Which has always been wild to me, because at what other point in life is it ever acceptable just to violate somebody's personal space and touch their body? Why would
you can't do that anywhere else.
Why would you ever think that you could just reach your hand out and touch me? Me and Byron actually went to Jamaica, and there was a white woman from Europe or somewhere like in our little travel group. And I remember, some of the locals were at the water park where we were, and it was a little girl walking with her father, and that lady reached out and pet that child. And I'm saying the word pet because that's what she did. Like, it was like a, and literally I grabbed her hand and I'm like, no. Like, I don't know if there's a language barrier or that father will turn around and you will not make it out of Jamaica. Like, ma'am, please. Like,
do not do
relax.
that.
It was absolutely wild to see happen in like real time. But when you were talking about like your school experience, it made me think of something else that I think I had kind of honestly blocked out so much of my K-12 experience. But you know how I used to burn the ends of your braids?
Child,
how many times did I get asked, like, oh my God, like, why did you burn your hair? Like, what's going on? Or I would come to school with braids one day and then take them out. They'll be like, oh my God, you cut your hair? And I'm like, no, girl, like, I just took my braids out. Like, what are we talking about?
But it's like, I don't want to have to explain that.
Right, exactly. Because if you don't know, then you just don't know.
And that's okay. And I think we also need to talk about the microaggression that lies within commenting on Black woman's hair when you are not a Black woman. Because from Black girl to Black girl, if I see Tiana's hair looks different or I like her hair, I'm going to say, girl, your hair looks fine or okay here. I see you, right? Know. It's different. But oftentimes when white people are curious about our hair, they want to understand every part of it, but they never acknowledge, oh, your hair looks nice. It's always, how did you do that?
Right.
What is this?
As if it's so odd.
As if it's odd.
Yeah.
makes us uncomfortable. And I think that people don't realize how uncomfortable that makes Black women when you make all the attention, even about their exterior.
Right.
Like, talk about my work and the stuff that I'm doing and
Hello.
who I am as a person. We don't got to have a 20-minute conversation about my hair.
Hello.
Um,
Whew. Well, we can talk
that
about
can
this
have its
forever.
own.
This
We
might have to
could,
be its own episode at
for
some
sure.
point. But yes, thank y'all for joining us for tea
Sorry, y'all.
time.
We
As
went long on that tea
always.
time.
Yeah, but it's an important topic though, but we might have to do a whole episode about it later. But
Facts.
today's episode is actually called True Life. My partner is a teacher.
Ooh.
Now, for those of you who might be a little young watching, and maybe we're dating ourselves a little bit by even referencing True Life, it was an MTV series where people
Is it
talked
still on?
about, I don't know, honestly, maybe, I don't know. I don't watch cable anymore, Ashley. Like, I don't
Facts,
know
me
what's
either.
going
Me
on.
either.
But it was a series and they would talk about people facing like phobias and in like
Mm,
abusive relationships and like just true life, like this thing you can't believe. And
mhm.
quite honestly, the experience of your partner being a teacher, we have felt like was low key a traumatic event
Yeah, it definitely
for
was.
partners everywhere. Like,
Partners
I'm
aren't getting enough credit,
they're
also.
not. This is our shout out, our dedication
Yeah.
to our partners because
Mhm.
y'all held it down.
Like,
It
real bad. Real bad.
it was rough. It was real rough, and y'all held it
The
down when
block
we
was
was
hot.
in the trenches, when we was going through it. Like, we had partners who really stepped up, really did more than their fair
Mhm.
share of a lot of things, and we are going to hear from them
Yeah.
later, and we're going to let them tell y'all how us being teachers
Affected.
impacted
Yeah.
them in their life.
Yeah.
um I think it's so underrated because people talk a lot about this mythical work-life balance thing and how
Sure.
teachers have none of it,
Mhm.
right? Like, I don't know about you, Ashley, but I know I took my work home. Like,
Oh, I took it home every day.
there was no separation. There was no,
Mhm.
oh, it's 3:15, so I'm off. So
Right. You
I'm
lose
not thinking
yourself.
about it.
Like, you lose, like, it was like I lost Ashley and became teacher. Like,
Mhm.
teaching almost became my identity.
No, absolutely.
And you love the kids and you love the act of teaching,
Mhm.
right? But it has some toxic elements of just not having balance in your life. And the
Yeah.
expectation that comes with it is that people don't expect you to have balance. They expect
Right.
you to give everything you have
For the
to the
kids.
classroom. And that can be detrimental to other aspects of your life, your personal life, your friendships, your partners. Like, that's kind of
I
scary.
I think you hit the nail right on the head when you said you stopped being Ashley and became what Miss Bridges, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would say that teaching is one of those careers where you build your life around the fact that you're a
Yes.
teacher.
Yes.
So I'm teacher first, and
Mm-hmm.
then I'm everything else. Like, pick one. And then
Mm-hmm.
I'm wife, then
Yeah.
I'm sister, then I'm daughter,
Mm-hmm.
because I have to be teacher first because
Right.
it demands so much from you.
It demands so much and gives so little.
It's
Right.
truly draining. Yeah.
Most teachers are giving everything, like their whole life, to the classroom. So if you just to take a moment, if you have not thanked a teacher friend, someone that you know, thank them because they a lot of times have given up themselves in order to be of service to the
Mm,
rest of our community. Um, and that
absolutely.
affects your partners. And so that's why we're
It
like, okay, we
does.
need to talk about how that affects people in your life.
Yes. So you guys have heard from us, but let's hear it straight from the source. Our partners, again, holding it down, supporting us as they do, have given up some videos so that we can get to know exactly how us being educators impacted them. So we'll let it play and then we'll talk about it a little bit after each one. So, Ashley, let's do impact
Okay.
first. And so this is what Byron
She was
had to
commuting
say.
45 minutes to get to work, and when she would get off work coming home, it would take her over an hour to get home. She would come home and drop all of her things right at the door. because she just had nothing left. She would get into bed, and that would pretty much kind of be where she was for the evening. It caused me to have to step up as far as cleaning the apartment that we were living in. I was pretty much cooking every day. She really just had to
Wow.
reserve
All of it.
all of her energy to be able to give to her students. She couldn't go to work and have a bad day. She literally had to put on an entire facade to be able to give to her students.
Mm.
And that was very tough for us to deal with. And this was just at like the middle of the school year. By the end of the school year, she had started with about 22 students, and by the end of the school year, she had over 30. And it was just a mess. And I think that we all thought we knew how the school system was working, but once she actually became a teacher and got involved, it really just opened our eyes to
Yeah.
a lot of the issues that lie within the school system.
Oh, that actually
I
made me
feel a
kind of
little triggered.
sad.
Shout out to
Yeah.
Brother B. Shout out to
Yeah,
Brother B.
that's my boo. But even just listening to him talk about it again, like actually that commute was the end of me.
45
Like,
minutes to work is crazy, T.
and I had
Like,
an early school. Like the bell rang at 7:15. Like it was early.
that's why you're a morning person now, Shad.
I know.
You had no
I
choice.
literally cannot turn it off. Like
Mm,
I was so used to being up, and like he
mhm.
said, like I think the part that hit me the most about what he said was that I just didn't have anything left. Like I don't know
Yeah.
how teachers date and stuff, because if I didn't already have an established relationship and I started teaching, like how am I supposed to meet
How? Because I
you?
literally have no energy to, honestly, this sounds so bad, to care about what you're saying. Like I cared
I have
for
nothing
8 hours and then some. Like you have nothing left when you get
for
home.
33 little people. And even that was my first year of teaching, actually. My
Mm,
first year of teaching, what ended up happening was that we lost my team teachers. So instead of it being 3 teachers, it was only 2. And so what they
ooh,
did is that they split the
mhm,
class in
mhm.
half between me and the other teacher.
Oh, wow.
But I was a first year teacher. And it was
Mhm,
another example of that, like just because a Black woman is doing a good job doesn't mean
mm.
put more work on her. I was
It
a
doesn't.
first year teacher too. Like just like the other people who were struggling and who needed assistance, and maybe I didn't need the same baby step guidance that they did, but the fact that you split up another class, I had kids sharing desks. My first year teaching,
That's crazy.
I'm
That's
just
crazy.
trying to wrap my brain around what's happening, and I
Right.
got 33 kids in my 33 fourth graders in my
You can't even
classroom.
give everything you need to all those kids with that many.
It's too many. It's literally just too many. So, impact.
Yeah, I guess we'll take a look at my partner's story of the impact of the classroom.
I'd say the most would be the biggest piece that used to impact me or irritate me would be like we would be chilling, relaxing, and it's like you weren't able to just really like disconnect. So we might be like watching a show or a movie, your phone will go off and it'd be like an email. And then all of a sudden it might have been, smiles, laughs, and this thing as you see the email, your, vibe just completely changes, maybe it might lead to a tear depending on what it is, or just, turns into frustration. So that, over time kind of got annoying. And then just constantly seeing your girlfriend, being down or being upset, and it's literally nothing you can do about it. And it's not like a, single event. It's just like, oh, this is what all teachers go through. And that's something that's, terrible to witness, and definitely something that needs to be, taken care of. So.
Yeah.
That made me so sad.
Shout out to my man.
Sad. Because that I can't fix it eats them up.
Yeah, you can't fix it because society and the government has made this profession what it is.
It's literally my life. So
and basically he's like, this isn't just what Ashley's going through.
Yeah.
This is what teachers everywhere are going through.
Right. It was nothing like having a vibe and then getting an email, and it just ruins your day. Here it is. Well,
yeah, that happened to me every day. I had a parent that was literally bullying me. Yeah, and I mean, like, she was full-fledged bullying me.
no.
And every day it was emails from her. She's reaching out to my principal. She's reaching out to this person.
God.
Yeah, she was attacking me. I should have reported it to HR.
Definitely should have reported her.
But I felt like no one was going to believe me.
Mm.
And so I think that I carried the weight of that every day. I was sad all the time because, like your husband was saying, I'd go to work and I'd put on this facade. Like, I'm happy, I'm fine, it's good, I love the kids. But like when I came home, I didn't have the facade anymore to give.
Yeah.
And your partners feel the effect of that.
That's the worst part though, right? It's like I have to go to work and put on this mask so much that by the time I get home, all of my things that you deserve are gone. All of my patience, gone. All of my grace, gone. All of my, like, I have nothing. Do not even chew the wrong way because...
And I'm going to be like...
Don't call my name because I'm Miss Manson, Miss Manson. What do you need? What do you need?
What do you need? Do you need it right now? Because I ain't got... And it sucks because they deserve that.
Your best.
They deserve your best, but you just didn't have it to give. And that's why I'm thankful that we have partners that chose to stay through not getting everything that they probably deserved.
Honestly, because Byron is not exaggerating when he says the cooking and the cleaning. Like,
he did it all.
When he said most every night, what he meant was every night or we're ordering food. Because what Tiana was not doing was cooking. Not while I was teaching. What? Because even the thought, that mental lift of what's for dinner, no.
It's like I can't.
I literally have nothing to contribute to this household. Like, it was bad. And I think that's what makes the next question even so much more pertinent is, when did you know it was time for your partner to leave the teaching profession? So I'm pretty sure Byron is about to tell all my business in this clip. So
you about to air it out.
Before she became
let's take a listen.
A full-time teacher, she had already expressed to me that she did not want to be a teacher. But you know, we came to the decision that because she already got her degree in early education and she had the certificates, you know, why don't you just be a full-time teacher until you find another job, right? The thing that I already knew, this is not going to last long, was when one of her students stole her keys out of her desk. I guess every day, you know, she goes in and, you know, she puts her keys in her desk and puts her bag down, same place every time. And, you know, I get a call from her. I can't remember what time school ended, but maybe a half hour after school ended, I get a call from her saying that, hey, I can't find my keys. I don't know where I put it. You know, this is where I put it. And I was on my way to drive out there, which would have took about an hour because it was rush hour traffic. I was on my way to drive out there, and sure enough, a parent pulls up with her child in the back, and he had taken her keys.
Oh my gosh.
I don't even think he knows why.
Yeah.
I don't even think he knows why.
That was a bad one. Like, literally, that was probably, that was the first final straw. Like, I was just like, 'cause why? For what?
Brother B sounds like he's reliving these moments.
He's literally traumatized. And like, now I'm like, dang, I'm sorry I even made you relive this trauma that you very clearly went through with me being in the classroom. But like, that was probably the first one when he knew why. And then he has another story to tell y'all as well. So let's listen.
Just did. But I knew it wasn't gonna last long after that. and to my surprise, it did last another 2 years.
Played me,
But
but it's fine.
it just always seemed as though it was something, whether it be admin or just something the way that things were being handled. But I definitely knew the last instance where a child had defecated on himself. I knew it was it after that.
What?
Reminder: I taught 4th grade, guys.
Fourth.
Fourth grade. Okay, so yeah, I had a child who did that, and it was actually really funny because
They
one
did
of
it on
the other,
purpose?
I don't, yes, because it was in the corner in the bathroom, so it's not like. But one of my other students came to me and he was like, Miss Manson, such and such S word in the bathroom. And he was like, I know I'm not supposed to say that, but that's what it was.
That's what it was.
Not
That's what it was.
poop. I
I just started,
said, pause. What? He did what?
He
You
did
know?
what? That's crazy.
And the craziest part about it is that as like thrown off as I was, I still had to use my teacher training brain and be like, well, if a 4th grader is defecating on himself, that could be a sign of abuse or neglect. And I'm a mandated reporter. And so now it very much did end up being something where I was like involved in a report and all this other stuff.
Right.
But it was just so many levels to it. The
Sure.
first level very much just being that you just came back into my classroom and it's very obvious that you pooped on not the toilet. Like it was just.
And now we have all the other students that are looking. Oh, girl.
Do you think we learned? Do you think we learned anything that day, Ashley? There was no learning. There was no learning.
The focus was gone. The focus was gone.
It was done. But I want to know, when did your partner know that it was time for you to leave the classroom?
I'll say it was just probably a series of events. So it was just constant interaction between me and you tell me about new experiences day after day. And it's just like, how is this legal, or how, like, just how is this allowed? And then, me trying to be the problem solver. It's like, yo, well, can you do this? No, I can't do that. You can't do this. You can't do that. I was like, yeah, nah, you need to find something else to do. Luckily, I guess, at least for me, I wasn't around you during like the darkest times, but I was around, I guess, a few situations that kind of, brought you to tears, or we might be, chilling and relaxing, and it kind of threw off the vibe too. So that was just, overall just adding to it.
So not one event, but a series of events, just the whole thing, just.
Yeah. So my first year teaching, we were not together yet. And that was probably the worst experience, I might dare to say, of my life.
Oh my God.
Like,
that's so sad though, Ash. Like,
it was, the administration was so horrible that I was having anxiety attacks, panic attacks after work. Like, so much so that my mom had to come down to North Carolina. She drove down because she was like, is this girl okay?
Oh my God.
Like, I remember this time vividly where I was on the phone with my mom. I was laying on the floor in my apartment in the fetal position, screaming.
Ashley.
Like, it was so bad.
Yeah.
And then the second year of teaching, I have more clips of Alonzo, but we're not going to put those in. Maybe one day we'll drop those on TikTok. But I basically, I had that, by the time we had got together, I was being bullied by that teacher. I had a student throw a chair across the room, and then the parents were denying that it happened. And I'm like, it clearly happened. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
the overwork and exhaustion, the people questioning me. I had a parent that tried to get me fired because they didn't agree with the way that I graded things. Because one thing about Miss Bridges, she did not play about them grades. I'm gonna
period.
But it's like, I mean, it was just like one thing after the next, and that's why Alonzo's like, how is this legal?
Yeah, like you can't do this. You can't even respond this way. Nah, can't do that.
I'm gonna play this clip for y'all. It's kind of a funny clip. And basically it lets you know why we didn't put some of the other clips.
I can put that one in there. You want to ask that question?
So you guys can basically tell there was a lot of dark moments.
A lot. Yeah. But I think that's what I think about a lot of the time when I think about how we transitioned out of the classroom and how there are so many teachers constantly asking how we managed to transition out of the classroom. And my biggest concern is that when all of the qualified individuals are driven out of these classroom environments, what's left?
What's going to
after
happen
that?
to the
I'm not 100% sure.
By
Like,
the time I have kids, they're going to be going to school in the metaverse. I just
not the metaverse.
who I'm going to have to teach them, or they're going to be taken
like
to
either
a robot.
homeschool or a robot. These are our choices. So, yeah, I think this episode definitely highlighted some of the struggle about what happens when there isn't a work-life balance possible. Like, it's not just about choosing it, but the plausibility of it. I could have been a bad teacher and had a work-life balance. I think that's what it is too. Like, you
that's
can
good too.
choose if you want, but you're not going to get done all the things you want to get done. You're not like classroom recreations don't happen if I'm not at the school an hour before the bell rings or after school an hour after the bell rings. Like, it just doesn't happen that way. And working with low socioeconomic students, it's like you want to give them this extra love and attention and devotion anyway. So not only am I trying to be a great teacher, I'm also trying to be just a great adult in your life to show you that you have somebody consistent that loves you,
that
so that
shows
you can,
up.
You know, like I'm pressuring myself to show up every single day. And that's when I knew. When I couldn't put the mask on anymore, when my students started asking, like, "Are you okay?"
Like,
and I'm
are you
like, no, actually. But like, you shouldn't be able to tell that. And the fact that you can tell, I know it's impacting my performance and I'm not showing up for you.
I had this one student. This is the last thing I'm gonna say, I promise. His name is Joey. Very slim chance that he's watching this. But at my first school, which I told you was a really bad experience, this one student single-handedly made it easier for me to come to work. He always bought, I love juice, like Snapples, Calypsos. Like, I'm a juice girl. It's totally bad for you. Don't drink your calories. But he used to bring me juices. Like, his grandpa or uncle used to like take them to the corner store in the morning or whatever. And he would always bring me a juice, a lemonade, a something almost every day. And it was like in this sea of like terrible feelings and emotions. This student was like, Miss Bridges needs that. Oh, I love that kid down bad. He changed his number. If you're watching this, Joey, I miss you. I hope you're doing well. So it's like, you don't know, like, he made me feel strong enough to show up for all of the other kids. And I'm sure he didn't even, but I was like, that it gets hard to put on that smile, you know, and because you feel so not seen or not heard. And so that one kid was like, okay, Ashley, you can show up today.
Just you can do it today. Yeah, it was very much a day by day. Got down to about an hour by hour by the time I was ready to go. It was like, if I could just make it to lunch, we might be okay. I might
get a little ghetto. Like,
we might be able to do this if I can just hold on.
Like, I barely could.
Shout out to our teachers and educators always, but special shout out to the partners of teachers and educators. We see you, we hear you, we feel you, we love you. And I'm sure your teacher partner also sees, feels, and appreciates everything you're doing, even if they are too tired to tell you. So, yeah. Shout out to y'all. Keep holding it down. And that's all we got.
So follow us everywhere at GetCulturedEDU, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever you are, we are also there. And we thank y'all so much for tuning in. And we hope to see you again soon.
Peace.
Peace out.